Welcome all, Kev the Movie Dealer here, and today I thought with the release of Toy Story 5, it was the perfect opportunity to talk about the Toy Story franchise, and what I personally think that the characters of Woody, Buzz, and Jessie represent. And maybe later I'm going to give you guys a little brief review of what I thought about the newest Toy Story movie. So let's get started. I honestly don't even know where to begin with this franchise. Toy Story for me when I was little was my favorite franchise of all time. Hell, it was my religion. I would rewatch the first two movies on endless loop, begging my parents to buy me all the toys, reading all the books, playing all the video games, dressed up as Woody or Buzz for Halloween, depending on my mood. My love for this franchise had no end. Before Star Wars, before the MCU, before any of the other franchises, there was Toy Story. This franchise was pretty much my origin story to movie loving. And like most of you, these characters mean the world to me. And as I've gotten older, the more meaningful the messages have been. Obviously, there's a lot of different themes, metaphors, or allegories that are going on in these movies, like mortality, family, loyalty, your general place in the world. But for me, specifically, when it comes to the characters of Woody, Buzz, and Jessie, it all leads back to parenthood. Everything that Woody, Buzz, and Jessie go through in these films can all lead back to being a parent. So let's start with Woody. In the first film, he pretty much represents that point in a parent's life when they realize that they are no longer the center of their child's universe. You know, those first few years as a child life, all they want to do is be with mama or dada. They want you to be the first person they see when they wake up and the last thing they see when they fall asleep. In this period of a child's life, there is nothing more amazing than their mother and father. Just like how Andy was with Woody. But as time goes on, and the child gets older, they start to discover new things in the world that take up more of their attention. They start focusing on the new shiny things in the world, like a Buzz Lightyear. They start wanting to do things without you. And maybe as time goes on, you start to feel that you're not really needed anymore. Or rather, not as much. Now, I'm not saying if your kid starts playing video games, you're not needed as a parent. No, of course not. But all loving parents dread the day when their kids finally leave the nest. And when they gain their own sense of independence, those are like the beginning signs. Which of course leads into Toy Story 2. Woody is truly coming to terms that Andy is growing up, and someday soon, he is going to leave Woody behind. And Woody is really starting to question, what is my life going to be without Andy? Andy is his world. Andy is Woody's life, and without him, what is his place in all this? This is no different than what a lot of parents go through when they start questioning, what is my life going to be when I'm not a parent on a daily basis? I mean, you're always going to be a parent, but when your kids are young and your days are pretty much either working your job or working as a parent, it's a constant back and forth. But what is your life going to be when that chapter is over? It's the fear of the unknown. But through his journey in both films, Woody learns to let go and enjoy his life with Andy while he still can. And no matter what, Woody will never truly be alone. And he'll always be there for Andy when he needs him. Then with Toy Story 3, it's very simple. The day you've been dreading as a parent is finally here. Your child is finally moving on and leaving. So you as a parent have to be strong and supportive. But that's a lot easier said than done. But you need to do what's right for him. Which is why it was so important for Andy to give Woody to Bonnie. Giving Woody away was kind of Andy's way of telling Woody and himself that they're both going to be okay. Kind of like that last hug you give right before you leave for college. And when Woody says, "so long, partner," he's really saying what most parents would say in that kind of scenario. Good luck, and I love you so much. So then there's the fourth installment, which Woody actually takes more of a grandparent-like role. Bonnie is not Woody's kid, but more of his grandchild. Woody is not Bonnie's favorite toy. She has other toys to take care of her. Woody has all this knowledge and wisdom he learned from taking care of Andy, but everyone is telling Woody, they got it. You don't need to take charge. Let us handle it. Just sit and relax. You've done your job. Woody is clinging to somewhat of that life he had with Andy. To feel that he is the center of someone's universe, even for a minute. He wants to be a parent again before it's too late. Then when he decides to leave Bonnie behind, that's Woody finally moving on with his life and discovering that there's more than just being a parent. There's a lot more going on with Woody, I think, than Buzz and Jessie throughout these films, because Woody is the lead character, and all these films, besides Toy Story 5, is really all about Woody. But Buzz and Jessie also have their sides of parenthood, especially Buzz when it comes to that first film. So Buzz's journey in the first film was very unique. He wakes up in this strange new world, not really knowing what's going on, and really is just figuring out as he goes along. Buzz believes he's an actual space ranger trained to save the galaxy from the evil Emperor Zurg. Basically, Buzz believes he is this larger-than-life superhero born for a great purpose. He has convinced himself that he is destined for greatness. But when reality slaps him in the face and says, you are nothing more than a toy. You're not a space ranger. You're not going to save the galaxy, and you're not destined for greatness. You are just a toy. It's difficult not seeing the connections with Buzz's story to a parent who may have had big dreams growing up and thought they were going to do something amazing with their lives. But sooner or later, they have to come to terms with the best thing that they've ever really done in their life is be a parent. Now, of course, there's nothing wrong with being a parent, but everyone, especially the big dreamers, like Buzz, wants to be special. They want to be the ones that stand out in a crowd. But if you're just labeled as a parent, you're just like everyone else. Buzz's journey in the first Toy Story is coming to terms that you are no longer the center of your universe. Your child is. Andy is Buzz's galaxy that he is sworn to protect now. And that's okay. It takes Woody to convince him of that. In a way, Buzz became a true adult at the end of the story. His journey is a coming-of-age story. And with the sequels, he's really just a great dad, and he's just putting out these dad-like vibes throughout the films. I do kind of complain that after 2, they really didn't give Buzz much to work with. He's just there and acts heroic when they need him to. They really don't give him any strong story arcs like they did in the first 2 films. Like, remember when Buzz says to Woody, somewhere in that pad of stuffing is a toy who taught me that life is more worth living if you're being loved by a kid. And I traveled all this way to rescue that toy because I believed him. Where is this version of Buzz? It's like Chris Evans as Captain America and Jon Snow were taking notes while they were getting ready for their roles. In Toy Story 2, Buzz is this great leader who has a strong moral compass. And he still does in the sequels, but they don't give him much to work with in terms of his own story. Like I said before, he's really just giving off dad vibes, and he's just there for the adventure. But I digress. Let's move on to Jessie. She, I believe, represents parents who may have not had the best childhood of their own. Jessie's a child that was neglected, who didn't get enough love or care because of what was going on in her surroundings. Jessie's claustrophobia represents her fear of being alone, not being loved, and not mattering to anyone. Jessie understands too well what happens when love is taken away from you and you don't get it back for the longest time. Not every parent had the best childhood, but they can understand better than anyone how important love for a child can really be. And that's why I really love Toy Story 5. I love the direction they took with Jessie. They pretty much continued that notion. Jessie is losing Bonnie to tech. This lily pad could be how Jessie ends up alone under the bed again. This lily pad represents change, and Jessie has seen what happens when kids go through changes. It's that fear that really drives Jessie throughout the film. And yes, also she wants to protect Bonnie and do what's best for Bonnie. But it really all goes back to being alone and not mattering to anyone. And the writers, geniusly, instead of having Jessie just constantly battle this lily pad throughout the film, they have Jessie face her past. Jessie is constantly running away from her past and not facing it head on, just like most adults would. But sooner or later, the past catches up to you. I don't want to give away too much of the film. All I can say is Toy Story so far is my favorite film of the year. And a big reason for that is Jessie's story and what she learns about herself and the impact she did have on her kids. So yeah, guys, I highly recommend checking out Toy Story 5. It was so good. The only issue I really had with that movie is I wish they gave Woody a strong enough reason to be in it. He's really just there, and everything he does, Buzz could have done on his own. But still, other than that, fantastic film. So much fun. Definitely had some tearful-like moments. So yeah, that's my thought on the Toy Story franchise. Comment below, guys. Tell me what you guys think of all of this. Am I wrong? Am I just completely out there crazy? You know, let me know how the Toy Story franchise affected you guys. Did you grow up with it like I did? Did you love Toy Story 5? What did you guys think of Toy Story 4? Yeah, guys, hit that like and subscribe button. That's going to be it for me today. I'll see you next time. All right. Ciao.